There we go. Okay. So recording started. Just wanted to briefly go over a few things. Who do we have in here? We got Harmony, Sean D. This thing is all messed up. I hate when it shortens the name. We got Johnny, Mike Lowry, and Rab in here. So thank you guys for joining. Again, if you want to interrupt me at any time in voice chat, that's fine. Or, type in the chat here. I'll answer any questions you got. So last night I was just posting a few things here. Like, you have to be blind not to see what's coming with ETH and alts. I know people are scared out there. They think that, we're not going to have an alt season. I definitely don't believe that. It's just, timing is the hardest thing to know with these cycles. They're a little bit different each time. So, initially I thought that Feb was going to be the pump, this month, but might have to wait till March. We'll see. I mean, February still could pump. We'll just have to see how it plays out. But I do believe it's coming still. And then when your friends are complaining about ETH gas fees in a month from now when things do pump, you can send them this where it was only 4 cents. I think even the high cost for ETH gas right now is like 8 cents, so it's nothing. And I thought this was real funny by this guy, Dees. He posted this thing about the average crypto onboarding experience. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but basically it's a shrimp, being pampered, and then at the end he gets all chopped up. Okay, and then this was I actually posted this yesterday, I believe, or the day before yesterday. And this was just us going over a play called DROM that we got a real-time 5X. I was actually just posting it in chat, in Degen chat over the weekend. All right, let's jump into, and let me double check. Make sure there's no questions as I get started here. Okay, no questions. Let's keep going. This is just kind of checking in with some of these Nansen indicators that are different than what you normally see. You're usually not going to see people showing this off because, not many people have access to this. You have to be a Nansen Alpha to actually get this. And, because y'all have access to our group, you get access to this as well, because I'll talk about it sometimes. So what we're looking at currently, really, I just look at this purple line. Way back here in May 2021, November 2021, it kind of rolled over. And this is kind of what we're looking for coming back up is, at this point, there was about 70% of all tokens short-term bullish. And way up here at the top, it was about 93% or maybe even more, 94. So as this thing starts moving back up into March, April, May, something like that, you're going to see this purple line start to climb up, kind of like it did right here. And then eventually it'll roll back over. So one thing you'll notice right away is, when the purple line crosses below the yellow line, things are definitely bearish because it crossed right there as well here on April 17th. We were out way early on this one in the group. We were talking about really all of March in 2024 that it seemed like things were going to roll over, at least temporarily. And that's when we had that long drawn out, let me get rid of this. That's when we had that long drawn out, here it is right here, March 11th, March 12th, where it just went sideways for a long time. Don't worry about those little moon things. I'll get into those here in a minute. So, mostly sideways action. It didn't really have much of a dip. That's kind of what we're looking at right here. But just getting back to this really quickly, we'll see this purple line start to come up, and the yellow line and the blue line are going to follow it just like it did here. And then eventually they're going to roll over. And my point here is that, you're looking for that extreme greed to know that it's time to get out of the market. Right now we're in fear. If I bring up coin market cap, I'll have to see if I can find it. And I am going to get into some Degen stuff here in just a second. Hopefully all this is working. Y'all can hear me and everything. I think you can. But if you go to coin market cap, fear greed index, this is really good news to me that we're in fear. I want to see this. But look how this always, you could just use sentiment to trade off of if you wanted to. You're into extreme greed right here. March 11th, we just talked about it. March 11th, March 12th, got into extreme greed and rolled over. Just recently into November, December. Actually, December 9th, it started rolling down. And remember, I want y'all to pay attention to this in the future because it'll help you. And I'm going to, make sure that y'all are aware that the signal is kicking off If you go all the way back to December 9th, we talked about this in a post just recently. Hang on, let me find it. This is very important, by the way. So right here, we had all these buys. See how it's buy, 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 buy. And then it flipped right here. There were 3 sells in a row. And that's okay, it was consecutive days. It doesn't have to all be in the same day. But no, December 9th, December 10th, what happened here with sentiment? Right in there, December 9th, December 10th, it rolled down. And I could show you, actually every single time, I could go back in history on Engineering Robo, and I could show you every single time where it found the bottom and it found the top. So remember that as we go forward here, this is one of our major buy or major sell signals. So the way it works is, it's not every time that you see an AI sell 3 in a row. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if we have a major uptrend and it's nothing but buys, then what you're looking for is the next time it has 3 sells in a row, you need to start taking some profits. And it doesn't really matter where the market is. If it does 3 sells and then all of a sudden you see 3 buys, then sure, maybe it means it was just it was just 3 tokens that happened to be selling at the same time. But if you start to see, sells continue after that, take this as your first signal. These 3 sells telling you, hey, it's a warning, things are rolling over. And then on the flip side, we see a bunch of sells after that. On the flip side, if you start seeing like 3 buys in a row, which we saw, I can't remember when that was. I actually made a post on that. Here, I'll just bring it up really quick. You can just scroll up here just a little bit on my signal channel, and you'll see that right here on the second image. I know that's hard for you to see. It's actually hard for me to see too. Here it is right here, November 5th and November 6th. So let's just see where that was at here. What is November? That's October. October, November. Yeah, right in here somewhere. Yeah, there it is, the 5th. So there was a big pump right after that. I mean, you didn't get the very bottom of the, the fear, but you can see here this gray outline. Price really didn't start breaking out until right in here somewhere. So it gets you in and out really well. Just remember that. All right. Let me get out of that and get back to chat so I can see. Yeah, so that's what we'll be watching for. When the majority of tokens, like 70% or more of tokens, are short-term bullish, that's what this thing will tell us, once this purple line gets way up here again. And I believe it will. Money supply is starting to turn back up. That's this red line. That's good. We want to see that. And then this is just, it's an easy way to see that 17% of all tokens on CoinGecko right now are bullish short-term. And then a longer term, there's about 23% bullish. So when you see something like this during a bull run, that tells you, this is the time to be buying, right? It's not the time to be selling. So even if you don't have money to deploy, that's fine. But you really, you shouldn't be selling anything, in my opinion, right now. Unless you've had a token do like a 10x or something, that's a completely different story. Okay, so Bitcoin, if we're just looking at MACD, just imagine your Degen plays, right? Here we are looking at a daily chart. Just imagine your Degen plays, and I'll probably have to make this a little bit thicker just so you can see it. Okay. Yeah, so, man, why is that one so hard to see? Let me just change it to yellow. All right, so, just like the Degen plays, it held here at the midline, and then it pumped again. And then as it came down here, it did dip temporarily down below the midline, but I suspect what's going to happen is it's going to start curling back up. So yeah, this is a lower high right here. It's not really a higher high on the price, so it's not technically a bearish divergence, although this one was. So remember, a bearish divergence is when price is going up and you're getting a lower high on the indicator. So yeah, this would have been a good signal to get out of the market right there. But I do believe this is about to turn back up and we'll start moving up again. I mean, we're into the full moon, or actually 2 days away from the full moon. So the full moon will happen right here on the 12th. And I think once that happens, we'll at least see a little pump. I mean, could it be the real pump? Maybe. It's either going to happen, coming up, or it's going to happen in March. So what would hurt this full moon is if we get some kind of really bad inflation data where they fake the numbers and it looks like inflation's going up even more than what people expected. So the market just doesn't want to be spooked, right? Because if it's spooked, then that's when, if things are hawkish, then that's when, another dip can happen. But hopefully we won't get back under 88K or so. I kind of suspect that's what's going to happen anyway. And then ETH BTC looks like it might be getting a bounce. It's not real clear yet, but I think it will happen. And I think that's really about it. Let's see, Cincy, keep an eye on this one for sure. We're getting down into this box here. That is a good accumulation zone. Let's see, I think it's possible it could get down to the bullish line, which is like 0013. But I really think that anywhere in here, just understand that this, just because it comes down in here doesn't mean it's just going to shoot up like that. You could see something like this for a bit. It could even do that and then finally come out of there. Well, I don't think it would take till May, but it may take it a month or something to get out of there. I'm not sure what it's going to do. But regardless, this would be a good value if you didn't get any Cincy before. Titan X looks like it might be. I'm just showing you a few that I think might pump sooner than most think. Let's see here. So it's trying to get back above the 50 RSI, but it needs to break above that trend line there. And I do have this chart saved, by the way, on the long-term plays channel. Opal, I talk about this one pretty often. It's sitting right on support. So if you're looking to add one, this wouldn't be a bad one to add. Quill, I know some of you are interested in that. When it came down to the 30 RSI, did a double bottom here. So, this could be the bottom on it as well. XPRT, let me just see what the indicator shows. I actually want to look at MACD on this one because that RSI is not real easy to read there. But neither is this. Yeah, it's hard. Well, this actually doesn't look bad here. This one's a little bit more difficult, but what if it's just doing this where we're getting a higher low and we're creating a bullish divergence here? It's possible. So, we're at support. So if you want to take a stab at this one, not a bad idea. And then Lake, it did a breakout retest, so this is looking pretty good. MACD still needs to do some work here. It is technically in a downtrend, but kind of the same thing as XPRT as a persistence. It looks like it's probably going to put in a higher low regardless. So, if you were to get another dip down to support, that'd be a pretty good place to buy. Or if you want to play it really safe, just wait for a close above bullish line and then get in. Or just wait for a buy signal, right? I think, here, let me just verify this, but I think we've got this one tracked on Engineering Robo. If we don't, I need to get it on there. Okay, I actually don't. So I need to remind myself that. Okay. I think that's all I want to talk about. Oh yeah, Cubic. I know a lot of you are interested in Cubic. It's kind of just sideways right now. I know it's down too, but it's just kind of sideways. Is this daily? Yeah, this is daily chart. This is a typical pattern it's putting in. This is bullish actually. If you're looking to buy here, this is bullish. It's just a matter of, whether it's gonna, put in support here or just take off immediately. Currently the daily MACD still needs to turn up though, so remember, if it's under the midline, that's technically bearish, sorry. So really you need to see at minimum, you need to see this start to curl up. Kind of like back here, it was the same thing. This right here is just a larger version of what happened back here. So, Cubic's put in a really nice base here, had a pump out of that. It's now retesting that support again. I think this support's gonna hold. So if you're wanting to add, I think it's fine to add here. And okay, let's get into, let me close some of this stuff. I am recording this for anybody joining late, by the way. All right, so let's jump into some Degen plays. Let's just see if we can find anything, right? Let me move this out of the way for a second. Well, actually, let me just keep it on here for while I show which one I'm looking at. And we won't make this too long. We'll just look at a few and see if we can find anything. I'm just going to pull up the first one 4 minutes ago. Going to go to GMGN. I'm going to paste this in. Did this one dip? I need my price line. Oh yeah, it came all the way back down, okay. So sometimes this is gonna happen where you just get a dump, right? I don't know that I would really be interested in this one just because it dumped so hard. Could it do a dead cat bounce or something? Sure. I mean, what you do want to watch for, let's see what our volume is first. Well, volume's crazy, 4 million every 5 minutes. I think that'll probably go way down. I mean, look at your net buy there. Negative 87K net buy, so that tells you that it's bearish right now. There's not much you can do. But if you were going to watch for a bounce on this one, you would have to see something like this. You want to see it hold the midline, you know, when it came back down. Seems like there's a lot of these tokens right now where, because Trump has put these tariffs on countries, you know, they're LARPing, you know, whoever's making these tokens, they're LARPing to make it look like these countries are making their own tokens. That's not the case. You know, it's just they're faking it just so people buy things. But this looks like a complete dump to me, so I'm not really, even though the volume's good, I'm not even going to consider that one. What is it, 242? So this was 7 minutes ago. Let's see what this one's like. And I'm looking at early. Let me just show you real quick. I'm looking at early alpha alerts just because you know, you can get them much quicker. Alternative, I don't know if he's in here or not. I don't think he is. David in our Degen chat. You know, he's pretty active in there. What he'll tell you is he watches this channel and he watches high conviction wallets and top Degen wallets, which high conviction and top Degen are kind of the same, but this is where we pull our alerts from. So if you're watching these and you see, you know, some brand new token you haven't seen before maybe, and you just want to check to see what the chart looks like for it, then, you know, go ahead and click on it and it'll take you to Nansen, and then you grab, here, I'll just show you. So you click the token name. It takes it a second to load up, but right up here at the top, there we go. So right up here at the top, you can copy the address, go back to GMGN. And the reason why we're doing this in real time, and the reason why you're here is, you know, you're wanting to do better. You're wanting to learn how to make a lot of money. And this is the best way to do it. You have to do it in real time. And so if this was the first time that we had seen this token, you would know that one of our smart money wallets had purchased this, and, you know, maybe you hadn't seen it before and you were going to be able to get in early. But this one's an older token, so let's look at this one instead. The only reason I brought that up is it's just a quicker way to get into these plays, like this one right here. Here, let me just bring this one up because this could be a brand new token. You'll know immediately because you'll see if it has a lot of history or not. I'm just pasting the contract address. Yeah, it's fairly new. When did this launch? 10th. That was today, okay. So in this case, looks like it wants to cross down here possibly. Go ahead and do your fibs. Take it from the bottom to the top here. Watch for a 786 bounce. While you're waiting on that, check your volume, 400K volume, net by 8K, it's looking pretty good. What are we on, 30-second chart here? Let's just see if it's gonna do anything here. I mean, it's a very new token. It's just now getting some action into it. Look how flat it was here at first. Now, I'm not gonna say this can't be a, you know, it could just be a scam coin where it's just a really quick pump and dump too. This thing did hit 3 million. So, you know, currently you're waiting to see what happens at the 786 line here. You could use your box method here as well. I've got some videos in the Degen chat in the pin section if you want to learn how to do the box method. But fib is a quick way to do it. And so what you're waiting on here is your MACD to come down and just see if it's going to curl back up. See how it bounced right off the 786 there? So that's a pretty good sign. I mean, we can't confirm that it's going to work out just yet. And while we're waiting on that, let's look at this one. So let's see how this one played out. So, you know, as this thing was moving up, maybe this is all you could have seen at the time, and you would have drawn your fib lines here. And you can take the candle body like that, or you can take the wick, whichever way you want to do it. So how would we have played this one? We've talked about it many times before, but let's continue to reinforce the ideas in real time. You got kind of a head and shoulders thing where it dumped. You knew, if the alert came in anywhere in here, you knew not to get in because it had already crossed down on the MACD. You got your cross up. That was, remember, we've talked about our rules before. Rule number 1 is it has to get above the 786 fib line. It has to cross up on MACD, and it has to have greater than 50K volume per 5 minutes. So we'll just put that on there as a reminder. So we got our cross up. We got to close above the 786 line, which is this blue line. And again, to draw your fibs, all you have to do is go over here to the fib retracement tool. Click here at the very bottom near 0, and then drag to the wick or to the candle body, whichever one you want to do, and just kind of stretch it out here. So you're entering here because you got your cross up, you're over 50K volume. So even if you would have entered at the very top of that candle, here is your 2x right here. So you would have taken your initial investment out there. So here's your entry, here's your 2x, and then you would have just started taking more out, every multiple if you wanted. So, maybe you took more out there. And at that point, even if you take your 2x here, so here's your 2x, here's your 3x. It just really depends. You could take, let's see, this is your entry. You could take your entire initial investment out here, which I would recommend, and then you could just let the rest ride. If you're looking for like another 10x on your other 50% of coins that you still hold, then you just let it ride. And if for some reason it comes back down here and closes below your 2x line, then maybe just get out. Or, just give it some time to play out. Or, maybe you're just playing the MACD. You don't have a cross down here, right? It's not even close to crossing down, even on the 30-second chart. And then move up to your 1-minute chart, see if your trend's up. You wouldn't have a 5-minute MACD just yet, but keep looking for what kind of story this token is telling you, or what the volume's telling you, by jumping around to different time frames. And that's what's going to keep you into these, keep you in these plays longer. Even for the people that are successful at this, in our group, the other complaint I hear from them is, well, I don't hold long enough. So this is the way you hold long enough. When you take that 2x, now you have, you're taking that 2x, initials are out. Now you have more confident, or maybe not more confidence, but you're more calm, more clam. You're more calm because now there's no way that you can take a loss, right? You got your money back. You're just letting the rest ride for free. So, maybe you don't take this 3x, but come up with an idea, come up with a plan for yourself. Like right now, we're starting to get a taper down where this line is starting to taper down to the slower MACD line. Now, see, you did get a perfect retest on your 2x line there, but it looks like it wants to close lower. So at this point, if you want, if you're worried that you're going to lose your profits, then maybe you just go ahead and take it. And then if for some reason this thing does rebound, maybe it just comes down here and crosses back up, something like that, then, enter again. That's what makes it easy about this is once you get a position, don't be scared out of it, out of the little, ups and downs. Just keep watching your MACD, and then, secure your profit if you want to. But sometimes you are going to get faked out. Like right now, it could be holding this line. This could just barely dip below and keep going. So you really need to do a few of these in real time and just kind of get a feel for the way that it can chop you and scare you out of a position. To me, this just looks like maybe a cup and handle or an inverted head and shoulder that might pump some more. And your volume's still good. Your net buys are still in the positive. These are the things you want to be watching for. So, think about your strategy, the way you want to play these if certain things play out. Kind of like if you go on a date with a girl, all the things that you think about ahead of time, you're constantly thinking about all the bad things that could happen. So, kind of do the things, the same things with this. Yeah, this one didn't play out at all, did it? This Sinai. So we're not worried about that one. This ended up being a really good one, though. So at minimum, you made like a 2x or a 3x on your money. And maybe that's all you want. If you just want a 2x and take all your money out and you're done, you move on to the next one. Okay, let me check if there's any questions here. Okay, so let's just do maybe one more. And so already, look at that. We looked at maybe one or two tokens, and we've already found a winner. Oh yeah, that was that Synergy AI, okay. Let's check out the high conviction. Now remember, on high conviction and 5 times or 5x smart money wallets channels, these are gonna be possibly longer holds. And these aren't really doing as well right now. You're still getting some 2x's out of these and stuff like that, but when the market gets bullish again, that's when these really shine. So what'll happen is, let me see if I can find one here. Well, probably what I'd have to do is find one from last night. Let's see, 4:03 a.m., Trenchland. Let's just see what this one did. So this was about 7 hours ago. I think every one of you could be successful at this, by the way. You just have to put the time in. Look at that. This thing's, you know what? This is a really good point before I get into this one that I just pulled up. This could revisit the top of that wick right there. It's so high, I have to kind of make the chart small. This could come all the way back up and revisit that wick. Just because you see a wick like that, don't think that it has to go back to the top of that. Don't jump in just thinking that. You need to be entering way down here. But my point on this was going to be, this is why it's so important to have a Telegram bot or something like that, where you have auto sells. Because let's just say this thing, I'm not saying your auto sell would have hit, but let's just say that it would have, and you entered way down here, which we did. And this was like a 6 or 7x for you. Well, actually an 8x. Sometimes this wick right here, if there's enough liquidity, will hit your auto sell. And even if it wicks way back down, even if it dumps, you will have captured that profit. So it's very important that you get something like Bloom or TradeWiz or Trojan. Of course, those are just for Solana, I think. I'm not sure about Bloom. Somebody can correct me. Maybe Bloom does more than just Solana. But anyway, consider looking into those. I'm not saying that anybody actually would have sold here. I can't say that for sure, but it's possible. It could have hit your auto sell. All right, so trenches, or trench land. Yeah, so kind of, it's similar to what we just saw, in a more compact, short time frame, where we get an initial pump, it comes down, it gets above 786 and takes off. So really, when the market's doing well, a token like this, you might have seen something like that. But obviously, we're way below the 786. So this is a good example of a token that's already played out, and you're just not interested in it right now because your volume's so low. The net buy is $7.95. It's just like there's no volume in it at all. So, volume is one of the most important things. If you want to just pull up a chart and look at the volume first, that's fine. You don't even have to look at the MACD, nothing. Volume has to be over 50K on the 5-minute view right here, not on the 5-minute chart. You just have to click on the 5-minute thing here. Like I could switch to 1 minute, 5 minute, 1 hour. Okay, so yeah, this one didn't work out at all. Let's just see if we can pull up a different one. I could pull up, Poopcoin just showed up there, the one we've been looking at. So this is my point about trying to find these sooner. If you want to find these as early as possible, you have to go to early alpha alerts. Look how we found Poopcoin before it showed up on one of our high conviction channels. And the play has possibly already played out. Although we still have some, you're in an uptrend right here, so it's looking pretty good. So, maybe one of you took this trade while we were talking about it, and, you're definitely in profit right now. So this does work. We don't have to go on Twitter and say, oh, well, we made a 10x on this play after it had already happened. And you are going to get some people on Twitter and YouTube that do that. They won't do any trades in real time. They'll just post that they had some kind of big win, and they'll fake their win So just be careful, who you watch, who you waste. You may be wasting time watching people. You need to see them do trades in real time. But the most important part of all of this is you're seeing that these rules work for you, right? And you could come up with your own rules. You don't have to use these. But this is a good place to start anyway, right? I mean, you're seeing it's working. Our last 2 or 3 live streams, we've showed winners. And not everyone's going to be a winner, sure. Not every single token's going to be a winner, but you have seen it work. So hopefully that'll give you some confidence to continue to learn how to do this for yourself. And it's really not that hard, right? I mean, you're just following the rules. That's all it is. So my point on the higher conviction channels, and we're just going to wrap up here in a second if there's no questions. Okay. So my point on these higher conviction channels is they may not be working. I do want to look at this one real quick. They may not be working as well as they do in the bull run currently. Well, not the bull run, in an uptrend. So during an uptrend, these shine for sure. So you might want to use the early alpha alerts, or you can use the top Degen wallets or a high conviction wallets channel to try to get into these plays as soon as you can, as early as you can. But let's pull this one up. I saw this one the other day. It's been around for a few days, I think. Okay, see, that's why I have this fib line here, is I was looking at this one way back here. So this will be a really good, let me get down to the 1 minute chart. This will be a very good case study of how this one played out. This was kind of a slow burner. Let's see, so 7th of February. Okay, so see how you can get into some of these high conviction plays or 5x smart money alert channel plays. You got plenty of time. This took a full day. So if we go back, let me just grab the contract address. At any time, you can take the contract address, paste it in here into Discord, search, and find out when the first signal was. If you just want to do some light back testing to gain some more confidence. Is that it right there? No, okay. I just want to show you how some of these give you plenty of time to get in. Here it is right here. So 2/7 at 10:58 p.m. my time. That would have been right here somewhere. Right here. Okay, so there's your entry, 445K. I mean, you didn't have to enter here, of course, but if you would have, I've already got this fib here. If you would have dragged it across, look how strong it was. It never came back down and touched 786. So I want you to understand that sometimes if you see this, if it's holding above the 618 and just kind of going sideways, maybe up just a little bit, then pay attention to tokens like this because they're showing a lot of strength. I mean, it never even came back down to touch 786. And I pulled from the bottom here to the top wick. And so if you see that, just wait for your opportunity to jump in. So here's a little bit of a downtrend. It did get back up here. You could have taken that entry, this entry, or this entry. And sure, I mean, this did chop around quite a bit. So as this thing progresses, that's why you want to jump to different time frames, because it's going to give you more information. It took longer for the 5 minute to show up here. Would that have helped you? Kind of. It might have helped you there. It would have depended on if you were watching the 5 minute closely, because you would have had to get in on this breakout candle right here. So technically you probably would have had to stay on the 1 minute chart, unfortunately. But maybe you would have felt good about this because it was creating higher lows and even a higher high right there. And then your MACD eventually did give you a really strong signal right there. But I agree. I mean, you may be thinking, well, if I entered there, I had to exit there, didn't I? Or if I entered here, I had to exit there. And sure, you would have made little small wins and you would have had to pay attention to this token for longer. But eventually you got that big pump. If you would have taken this cross up right here, your volume, I'm sure, was over 50K and it was well above the 786. So all of your rules were in place there. And who knows what you would have made here. It just depends on where you would have taken your profit, but you could have made a 5x or something conservatively. But this is the way you want to break these down, right? Just go back, and look how they played out, and you'll be better prepared when you're doing them in real time. Okay, so question time. Anybody have a question? Do you want to look at long-term plays? Are there any specific charts you want to look at? Any questions about the Degen rules that we have, things like that? Maybe how to take profits. Anybody have any questions? You can talk on voice chat, or you can post there in the chat. And I'll give you just a few, 20 or 30 seconds here, and if I don't hear anything, we'll stop it for the day. I see Digital has a question. We're just going to keep doing these, right? I mean, we'll do these maybe once or twice a week, and 3 times if I don't have a real busy week. And it's eventually going to just sink in and be so obvious that you'll just start doing it by second nature. And it is difficult. I mean, I get it. In real time, it's difficult to trade these, but you just have to be willing to jump in there. Let's see, Digital says, so you think the early alpha will work better in the bull market? I think early alpha is much tougher to follow when things get bullish again, because, unless you have a lot of time to commit, you have to look through a lot more tokens, because the early alpha, like right here, early alpha alerts right here, when things are like in an uptrend in the bull market, you're just going to get, alert after alert. And even right now, this may seem like a lot of alerts to you, one every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But when things are very bullish, you're going to see like 3 or 4 every 5 minutes, maybe even more than that, 8. So it's a lot harder to filter through these, but more and more of them will be bullish as well. Right now, I would say, we've had somebody in the group actually do a win rate check on some of these channels, and it's anywhere from 30% to 60%. And it just depends on what the market's like, what the day is like specifically. So remember, the early part of the week tends to be more bullish for Degen plays. There's a lot more activity, but you're going to find winners every day regardless. Even on the weekend, we found some. But when things get, when they're back in an uptrend, an obvious breakout for Bitcoin, that sort of thing, then people that don't have a lot of time to check, maybe you don't have a lot of time to trade, then that's when you want to jump over here to the 5X Smart Money Wallet channel, or the High Conviction Smart Money channel. And these will give you more time to enter. These are the ones that you want to pull your fibs, just like this one right here. Maybe it gives you a day or more to get in, or maybe a few hours to get in, and you just look for your 786 bounce. If the MACD is turning up, if the volume's good, you're just looking for good, solid market structure where you've got higher lows. Even if you're getting double tops up here, if you're getting higher lows, then eventually it's going to push that price action up. Typically, that's what happens. So yeah, you're learning how to trade. You're learning technical analysis all at the same time. So even if you don't find a bunch of wins, even if you don't find one win one day, the time that you're putting in, you're basically creating your own business in a way. You're developing the tools necessary and the knowledge necessary to trade for yourself. And it'll even help you short the market in the future, because you're trading at very low time frames, and that's difficult for a lot of people. So when they say, being in the trenches, they don't mean just looking for, or at least I don't mean this, I don't mean just looking for Degen plays that might pump. Being in the trenches is also learning how to do TA and developing a new tool set for yourself that you can make money with. And you don't have to be in this group forever either. Once you learn something like this, you can move on and do all this by yourself. And that's actually, it's funny, it just reminded me of something. Crypto Bull was in here just a minute ago. And we were talking about how, sure, we could use these tools, for ourselves. We could use all this knowledge for ourselves, but I think it's great for other people to learn and to be able to do things for themselves as well. And there's no reason we have to, hog all this knowledge to, just for us. We can all work together to make money. Let me see what else Digital's saying here. So yeah, just to, recap there, early alpha is really good. It'll get you in early. but you have to be willing to spend more time looking through these plays as well. Like right now, you don't see, well, there's really not that many signals right now, but you're going to see a lot more pop up here than these two. Yeah, you're welcome, Digital. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're seeing value in it. You know, it'll just get better and better. Remember, this group's only been here since early 2024, I'd say. So it's still pretty new in that regard compared to most groups. But, you know, anything y'all want to see, if there's, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up here, but if there's anything, any improvements we can make, or if you have any suggestions, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll look into some of those things. And if you have any suggestions on the alert channels, you know, if there's something that you'd like to see there as well, you know, we can always look at other improvements. Currently, what we're working on is trying to remember what the other thing we're working on is. Well, we're always trying to improve it, but the other, I know one of the main features we're trying to get going is we want to make it to where you can take the contract address and have it sent directly to your Telegram bot out of these channels. And I think Tatiana was talking about, you know, T-Insight was talking about some way to do that with Bloom already, you know, the Bloom bot, Telegram bot. But we're trying to set it up to where it'll send to any of your Telegram bots. So it's going to take a little while, but you know, we're hopeful that we can get that working for you. So we're always trying to improve. Okay, well, let's wrap it up there, guys. Again, I know this, you know, I don't know that I say it enough. You know, I appreciate every one of you, and so does Tatiana and Rod. You know, all of you that are joining today in real time, you've probably got busy days, and you took the time out to come and get better. And all of the people watching the video are going to do the same. But you know, be encouraged that the things that you're learning are going to make you more money. Maybe you haven't really had much success yet, but the more you do this, and the more you watch these videos back and just kind of see some of the things that I'm doing here, the higher chance that you're going to turn that around. You know, the chance increases that you're going to make profits in the future. So just keep working at it. We were all at the point, you know, everybody's kind of at a different point in their journey, and we were all at the beginning stage at one point. So if you're just starting and you're just starting to learn TA, or you know, maybe your portfolio isn't as high as somebody else's, don't compare yourself to anybody. You know, even in normal everyday life, everybody's in a different point, and you know, we just strive to get better each and every day. That's what matters. Okay, well, y'all have a good day. Appreciate y'all joining, and maybe we'll do another one Wednesday or something. We'll see. All right, take care.